process. All resource persons and parties shall be afforded their constitutional rights, including the right to counsel and protection against self-incrimination. Impartiality. This committee approaches this inquiry without predetermined conclusions, committed only to uncovering the truth based on evidence and testimony. Public interest. Our primary consideration is the protection of public funds, the delivery of effective blood control solutions, and an end to the suffering of the Filipino people. During the course of this inquiry, we expect to hear from officials from the Department of Public Works and Highways, representatives from the Department of Budget and Management, recommendations from then Commission on Audit, representatives from the 15 contractors identified by President Marcos Jr. in press conference dated 11 August 2025. We shall examine procurement documents and bidding records, project implementation reports and certifications, financial records, comparative analysis of project costs and effectiveness. Hindi madali ang usaping ito. Hindi ko rin nanaising patagilin ang pagdinig tungkol dito. Hindi ito plataforma para magpasikat o magpalakas tayo sa mga tao. Lalong hindi ito pamumulitika o pagsira sa reputasyon ng kahit sino. Nais ng kumiting ito na gawing makabuluhan at produktibo ang bawat pagdinig ng ating gagawin. May I remind our resource persons to cooperate fully and answer truthfully. And please don't be too smart. Confucius said that if you are the smartest person in the room, then you are in the wrong room. I request my colleagues to efficiently manage our time as we clarify matters from our resource persons. Let us veer away from repetitive statements and questions that may unnecessarily prolong our inquiry. We owe it to our people. Tandaan natin na bawat dam o dike na itinatayo ay galing sa pera ng bawat Pilipino. Bilang mga mambabatas, responsibilidad po nating magsulong ng mga kaukulang batas na makapagpapabago sa mga nakalakaran sa gobyerno para sa ikabubuti ng bansa. Hindi tayo narito bilang hukom na uusig sa mga naglipa ng kawatan, kundi tungkulin nating alamin at usisain ang pinaggagamitan ng ating pinasang tao ng budget. It is our duty to get to the bottom of this. Kahit sisirin pa natin ito kung kinakailangan. No stone shall be left unturned and no one shall be spared. Pagtulungan po nating hanapin ang katotohanan at tuluyang makapaglatag ng epektibo at pangmatagal ang solusyon sa suliranin natin sa pagbaha. Kahit mahirap o tila imposible, pero sa tulong ng bawat isang Pilipino na may pakialam at pagmamahal sa kanyang bansa, ito ay tiyak nating may pagtatagumpay. Maraming salamat po. I now declare this hearing officially open. I direct the Director General to please call the roll.
With your permission, Mr. Chair, may I proceed with calling the roll?
Please proceed.
From the Commission on Audit, Attorney Gabriel Cordoba, he's represented by Tracy Ann Sunico, OIC of Director 3. From the Department of Budget and Management, Secretary Pangandaman confirmed her attendance, but she will arrive a little later. In the meantime, she will be represented by Yusek Rolando Toledo and Yusek Abuel. Director Maria Crescencia D. Sunga from the Budget Management Bureau A, BMB-A. From the Department of Public Works, Secretary Manuel Bonoan, Senior Undersecretary Emil Sadain, Undersecretary Eugenio Pipo, Assistant Secretary Loretta Malaluan, Assistant Secretary Constante Llanes Jr., Ms. Luz De La Rosa, Director Internal Audit Service, Regional Directors Gerard Opulencia, NCR, Roselier Tolentino, Region 3, Jovel Mendoza, Region 4A, and Regional Director Virgilio Eduarte, Region 5. From the National Mapping and Resource Information Authority, DNR Nambria, Engineer Glicerio Yare. From DOST Pag-asa, Dr. Nathaniel Servando. From Metro Manila Development Authority, Attorney Romando Artes, who will be arriving late because he has a court hearing at this hour. Already here. Okay, thank you. The construction companies, Mr. Alex Abelido, President, Legacy Construction Corporation. May you raise your hand. Present siya dito. Ms. Cesara Discaya, an invitation was sent to her, but she sent an excuse letter saying that she had a prior commitment. Ms. Maria Roma Angeline Rimando, she cannot attend because she's still suffering from grief due to untimely demise of her foster mother parent. Mr. Alan Kirante, QM Builders, there. Mr. Ernie Bagao, owner proprietor EGB Construction Corporation. Mr. Iumir Villanueva, president of Top Notch Catalyst Builders Inc. He cannot attend because he has a previously scheduled medical procedure today at the Asian Hospital. Mr. Lawrence Lubiano, president Centerways Construction and Development Inc., represented by attorney Regidor Ponferrada. Ms. Aderma Angeli Alcazar, President, CEO of SunWest Incorporated. She cannot attend. She sent a letter stating that she is currently on scheduled leave to attend to personal family matters abroad. She avers that she left the country on 13 August 2025 and will not be able to make it back to the Philippines in time for this hearing. Mr. Edgar Acosta, High Tone Construction Development Corporation. An invitation was sent, but we have not received a reply as of this moment. Mr. Wilfredo Natividad, Owner General Manager, 888 Construction and Supply, Inc. Mr. Romeo Miranda, President, AMO Royal Crown Monarch Construction and Supplies Corporation. Invitations were sent, but no reply has been received yet. Mr. Mark Alan Arevalo, Wawaw Builders General Manager. An invitation has also been sent, but a reply has not been received so far. Ms. Marjorie Samidan, she cannot attend, but she will send a representative. This is the authorized managing officer of MG Samidan Construction. There. He is represented by Mr. Cliff Samidan. Mr. Luisito Tiki cannot attend, requests that he be excused from attending today's hearing due to health reasons, and since they received the invitation late afternoon of 18 August, they will not be able, and it will not be possible for them to complete its review of the possible projects to determine who to send as representative. And last but not least, Mr. Ryan Willie D. Uy, President, Road Edge Trading and Development Services. Before I end, Mr. Chair, may I also be allowed to recognize ASEC Mary Ann de la Vega of the Department of Budget and Management. Thank you, sir.
Mr. Chair,
Before
Before-
that, I would like to acknowledge the presence of Senator J.B. Hercito and Senator Mark Villar. Yes, Senator Bato?
Mr. Chair, may I move for the issuance of subpoena to those absent invited resource persons, particularly yung mga contractors, Mr. Chair, to require them to be present in the next hearing. I so move, Mr. Chair.
I think the motion is in order. No objection? The motion is carried.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
May I ask the Director General as to the number of invitations sent to the 15 invited contractors, as to how many successfully presented themselves today or at least sent representatives?
Your Honor, we sent 15 invitations to 15 contractors.
And how many replied to your invitation?
Three. 11 replied, Your Honor. And of the 11, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 are represented here, either by the owner himself or by a representative, Your Honor.
So seven out of 15 are represented today in this hearing, Mr. Director General.
Yes, Your Honor.
And the rest simply replied, but did not send representatives. That
Yes, Your Honor.
I just hope this is not the sign of disinterest on their part, because this meeting is called precisely to get to the bottom of this problem.
Mr. Chair.
Yes.
Mr. Chair, siguro pag when we invite them, not invite, subpoena them next hearing, they have to come up with a reasonable answer. Hindi ho yung may sakit, may nauna, para hong ginagago itong committee natin na may sakit, nagbakasyon na, may mga prior schedule. Ano mas importante, prior schedule, Mr. Chair? Or itong investigasyon ito, because 544 billion na pinag-uusapan natin, not a small change, Mr. Chair. Yun lang po.
Manifestation is noted. May I remind the representatives of private lawyers of our resource persons present here today, pwede po kayong relax muna kayo at huwag kayong aalis. I will now direct the Director General to acknowledge the presence of our resource persons and thereafter administer the oath to them.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. May I proceed? Those who have been invited here, kindly please stand and raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth in this proceeding? Thank you. You may take your seats. Mr. Chair, for the record, they all said yes. Thank you.
Thank you, Director General. I acknowledge the presence of Senator Gatchalian and Senator Bongo. The President of the Philippines made initial observations and findings in regard to the subject matter of the present inquiry. The amount of some 100 billion pesos or 18% of the entire 545 billion budget for flood control projects between July 2022 to May 2025 was awarded to only 15 out of 2,409 accredited contractors in the country. Question: is this statement of the President fair? Silence means acquiescence. So, Chairman notes that all present today agrees to the statement of the President. And the 15 contractors referred to were invited as early as last Saturday, Director General, Friday, and on at least 7 of them replied and sent representatives this morning. Legacy Construction Corporation, Alpha and Omega General Contractor and Development Corporation, St. Timothy Construction Corporation, QM Builders, EGB Construction Corporation, Top-Notch Catalyst Builders, Inc., Centerways Construction and Development, Inc., SunWest, Inc., Highton Construction and Development Corporation, 888 Construction and Supply, Inc., Royal Crown Monarch Construction and Supplies Corporations, Wawo Builders, MG Samidan Construction, LRTK Builders, Inc., and Road Edge Trading and Development Services. These 15 contractors were mentioned by the President. The President also noted that 5 of these 15 contractors have projects in almost all regions nationwide. He mentioned Legacy Construction Corporation, Alpha and Omega General Contractors and Development Corporation, St. Timothy Construction Corporation, EGB Construction Corporation, and Road Edge Trading and Development Services. Is the President correct? Your silence is also acquiescence. So the President fairly reported this accurately. Wala pong problema so far? The President also noted that there appears a mismatch between the most flood-prone areas based on National Adaptation Plan of the Philippines 2023-2025. Kasi yung mga flood-prone areas nasa ating National Adaptation Plan of the Philippines. Ito po yung mga probinsya ng Pampanga, Nueva Ecija, Pangasinan, Tarlac, Bulacan, Metro Manila, Maguindanao, North Cotabato, Oriental Mindoro, and Ilocos Norte. These are the flood-prone areas. As opposed to the top 10 provinces awarded with the highest number of flood control projects by the DPWH. Bulacan, 668 flood control projects. Cebu, 414. Isabela, 341. Pangasinan, 313. Pampanga, 292. Albay, 273. Leyte, 262. Tarlac, 258. Camarines Sur, 252. Ilocos Norte, 224 flood control projects. This shows that only 4 among those considered flood-prone areas ang nandito pong nabigyan ng kaukulang mga projects. The rest ay wala po sa flood-prone areas. This is the initial observation of the President. Is his observation fair enough to you? Meron po bang gustong kumontra sa observation ng President? So silence is acquiescence. Ang sabi pa ng Pangulo, more than 350 billion or 6,021 flood control projects do not specify the exact type of flood control that is being built. Halimbawa po, kung repair works yun, o kaya cut-off channel, o dikes, o drainage structures, flood mitigation structures, retarding basin, revetment, slope protection spur dikes, waterways, or embankments. Walang ganun eh. Sabi niya, hindi man lang dinidescribe ito eh. 350 billion worth of projects defy basic description, or 6,021 flood control projects. Many of these projects are in different locations but have exactly the same contractor and contract cost. This is disturbing. This is one of the initial observations of the President. Do you believe this is also a fair assessment? Oh, walang kumikibo sa ating mga resource person. I think this is a fair assessment coming from the office of the President. Meron pong ginawang actual na inspection ang Pangulo in Kalumpit, Bulacan. Lumabas po ito sa mga dyaryo. Initial inspection showed the dike appeared to have not followed the right specification, sabi po dun sa dyaryo, of materials, and also appeared to have gaps in the dike that made it incomplete. Nagpakuha po ng scuba divers ang Presidente. This is what they call tactile inspection. Nakita po nila doon ang... Ito po nakalagay. Scuba divers were dispatched to assess the flood control project. They reported that the concrete underwater was of varying thickness and was shaddily built. The divers also reported the steel reinforcement were not driven into the river, so water still flowed underneath. Let us break that down. Ang ibig pong sabihin nito, kahit kami po hindi naman inhinyero, karaniwang po sa inyo lahat ngayon ay engineer, hindi po nasunod yung specification. Dito lamang po lumilitaw yung mga tinatawag na seat piles. Hindi po ibinaon sa tamang lalim. Ano pong ibig sabihin nun? Karaniwan po, and I think you will all agree, 6 meters po yung seat piles eh. Talaga pong pipiliting ibaon yun. Yung 5 na metro ibabaon mo, maring ang lilitaw na lamang na nakikita mo is 1 meter. What is the significance of that? Kasi kinakailangan ma-address mo yung scouring ng river. Pag hindi umabot, ando sa punto na yung cascading waters will be gradually eroding the soil, ang lalabas nun, nakabitin na yung inyong nakabitin na yung seat piles na kunwari ibinaon nyo ng 5 meters. Ano mangyayari kung nakikita na po yun? Babagsak po talaga yung slope protection na inilagay ninyo. Ito yung kaawa-awang kalagayan nito eh. Nakita pa po yung Upon tactile inspection, the drivers found that the beam was no longer connected to the seat pile support. Yung beam na sinasabi niya, this is the apron. Tama po ba yun? The apron is the basic structure that will hold the seat piles. Kung wala po yung apron na yun, na magkukonect dun sa slope, walang integrity yung project na ito. Babagsak at babagsak ito. Mamaya po meron kaming ipakikita sa inyo kung bakit ganito kalala ang problema ng ating bansa. Ready ba yung isang slide natin para makita lang yung... Ikaroon tayo po ng idea kung ano yung revetment. Ito kasing binisita po ng Pangulo, embankment po ito, diki po ito eh. Yung embankment po, pangkaraniwan pagka diki, ginagamit din kahit na mga tricycle lang, mga motor nakakadaan doon. Pero dapat merong slope protection yun eh. Pagka yung embankment lang, pagkatapos yung binaon yung bakal, wala pa rin, magigiba yun. Ready po ba tayo doon sa isang slide para magkaroon? Ayan po. Ano po yung tawag dyan, Secretary Bunuan? Di ba revetment yan?
Revetment, Your Honor.
Ayan po, ang kaawa-awang kalagayan ng revetment, meron pa pong nota dyan sa nagbigay sa akin. 80% lupa, 15% semento, plus 5% bakal equals pera. Ano po dapat yung reinforcing bars nitong revetment na ito? Kasi po wala eh. Kahit na po siguro kawayan lang, wala yan eh. Tingnan po ninyo. Wala pa po tubig ito. This is supposed to be, siguro medyo river po ito eh. Tatagal po ba ito, Secretary? Itong ganito?
Hindi siguro, Your Honor. I think this is a failure of the structure in itself.
So, dapat wala nang siguro. Tsakin mo. Tatagal ba ito?
Hindi po.
Alam po nyo kung saan ito? Kayang-kaya naman po ninyong ma-identify. Nasaan po yung mga district engineers nyo? Para wag na po sabihin kung kanino galing yan. Kasi malalaman din po natin yun eh. Why do you think the contractor of this project adopted this kind of anomalous activity? Marami pong ibig sabihin yan eh. Meron tayong kasabihan, Chair Erwin, the picture paints 1,000 words. Dito po, hindi words, pera ang nakalagay. Ano? 80% lupa plus 15% semento, 5 plus 5% pera, 5%. 5% bakal, ano daw, Chairman? Oo nga, equals? This is a microcosm of the projects. I think this completely represents the project na ginagawa po ngayon. Kaya wala po talagang mangyayari sa mga projects. Ang contractor po nito ay St. Timothy Construction Corporation. Nandito po ba ang representative? Ang sinasabi ko po yung kalumpit. Hindi ko po sinasabi ito. Ito ano lang po ito. Ibang project po ito. Pinakikita ko lang para magkaroon po ng idea ang mga kababayan natin kung sila'y sumusubaybay sa atin. Pero yung sinasabi natin sa Kalumpit, Bulacan kanina, ang contractor po, ito yung embankment, is St. Timothy Construction Corporation. Meron po bang representative ngayon? Ito? Roma Angeline?
Roma.
The representative is one Miss Maria Roma Angeline Raymando. Nandyan po ba kayo, Madam? Nawala po kayo? Kanina po.
Lizard.
Wala.
Miss Letter.
Wala pala sila. Before we continue, let me acknowledge the presence of Senator Joel, our Majority Leader.
Thank you.
Before I continue, some of my colleagues would like to make short opening statements, no longer than 2 minutes. Please. Let me acknowledge also the arrival of Senator Bam Aquino. Any one of my colleagues who want to...
the first one to arrive.
2 minutes, sir. Thank you.
1 minute lang, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, good morning. Good morning, everyone, our resource persons. Good morning po. I just would like to quote the very famous impression made by our majority leader, Senator Joel Villanueva, that according to him, na kung itong ating flood control funds, no, pondo na dedicated to flood control, divided by the number of days in 1 year, which is 365 days, it will amount to 1 billion pesos per day government expenditure dedicated to flood control projects only. So, sa ordinaryong tao, pag ito'y kanilang narinig, talagang lalong-lalo na, including me, at lalong-lalo na yung mga taong kasalukuyang nabibiktima sa mga baha. Iniisip nila na sana yung 1 billion a day na yan, binigay na lang yan sa amin at kami na ang gumagawa ng flood control dito sa aming lugar para ma-mitigate yung sitwasyon na ito. But anyway, we are not entirely blaming everything to the projects. Meron tayong, we have a plethora of reasons bakit nangyayari ito. Meron tayong climate change, meron tayong sinasabing yung reclamation and other reasons. Pero yun nga, sa ordinaryong tao, kailangan maklaro natin ito. Kaya ako, personally, for myself, and I hope the chairman and the rest of the members of this committee would share with me in my quest na sana, during this hearing, ma-establish talaga natin ito for the benefit of our people na nanonood ngayon. Number one, these are not ghost projects. Number two, sana ito mga project na ito ay hindi ito yung quasi-physical and quasi-spiritual. Meaning yung project na sinimulan lang pakilang tao, then afterwards, pinabayaan, wala nang nangyari. At kung number three, kung ito ay talagang ang estado nito mga proyekto na ito ay fully implemented, physically implemented, did it serve its purpose? Bakit patuloy pa rin yung baha? So, yun po mga Mr. Chairman, ang gusto nating malaman today, and I hope, I hope that all our resource persons would cooperate 100% in this Senate investigation. Because itong mga aming committee ng Blue Ribbon Committee, we are not witch hunters here. We are not ghostbusters. We are truth seekers. So in our quest for the truth, sana you play a very vital role para makamit natin ang katotohanan dito para sa ating inang bayan. Maraming salamat, Mr. Chairman. Thank you.
Thank you for your 2.5 minutes, Senator Bato. Following the order of arrival, I will call on Senator Rapi Tulfo for his 2 minutes.
Maraming salamat, Mr. Chair. Ako po ay magbibigay ng senaryo kung paano po mahilentulad sa karneng baka sa palengke ang ilang bilyones na napupunta sa flood control. At kung paano po ito kinakatay, china-chop-chop, at niluluto. Nagsisimula po yan sa isang proponent na kung saan ay kakatay po siya ng, say, 20 billion pesos mula sa NEP, BICAM, and ang program appropriation. Now, itong proponent na ito ay dadalhin niya ang 20 billion na nakatay niya doon sa mga nabanggit ko, NEP, BICAM, and program sa Region 4B. Na kung saan ang regional director doon ay isang nagngangalan Mr. Gerald Pakanan, excuse me. Now, yung 10 billion, si proponent na ang gagawa ng project dahil meron naman siyang kumpanya na nagkukontrata. So, ibig sabihin siya po isang contractor. So, hindi na po natin malaman kung magkano eksakto ang kanyang kikitain doon sa 10 billion. Pero, ang estimate po, abot ng 60%, kita niya, 40% na lang mapupunta sa project. Ano mangyayari po doon sa 10 billion na titira? Siyempre, kukunin po yun ni Mr. Pakanan. At yung 5 billion, si Mr. Pakanan na po ang gagawa ng project dahil meron din po siyang sariling kumpanya na nangungontrata. And of course, doon sa 5 billion niya, magbibigay siya ng 28% SOP sa proponent. Now, anong mangyari doon sa 5 billion na natitira na? Yun po ay bibigay ni Mr. Pakanan sa kanyang mga kaibigang kontraktor. And of course, again, si proponent kikita po ng 28%. Si Mr. Pakanan kikita ng 18%. Yung mga kontraktor, of course, kikita din yun 30%. Alisin po natin dyan yung 7% para sa tax sa BIR o VAT. At meron pa pong 3.5% para sa tinatawag na EAO, Engineering and Administrative Overhead. Kasama po dyan bids awards committee at kung ano na pa. So 3.5%. I-add nyo po yan total, 86.5%. Magkano lang po napupunta sa project? 13.5%. Ganun po yung kalokohang nangyayari dyan sa Region 4B. Now, kunti na lang Mr. Chairman. 40% ang ibinabayad agad sa mga contractor at kay proponent kahit hindi pa po tapos ang project o kahit hindi pa gawa ang project at gagawa po sila ng mga fake accomplishment report, dinodoktor. Yan po yung example lamang kung paano po binabalasubas ang pera para sa flood control na dapat po ay imbestigahan ng committee to sa susunod po ng mga hearing. By the way, isang Ryan Altea ang nagpakilala dito kay Mr. Gerald Pakanan doon sa isang proponent. So, ibig sabihin, ito si Mr. Altea ay well-connected na ngayon po ay na-promote pa. Ang daming kalokong ginagawa, na-promote at siya po ngayon ay isang direktor sa main office. Maraming salamat, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Senator Tulfo. For the record, that's 3 minutes.
Oh,